Hello everyone, this is Jay Sheth here, and today in this video I'm going to show you how we evaluate a particular mutual fund scheme on different parameters. Now the first and foremost way you evaluate a scheme is by comparing it with its benchmark and seeing whether it outperforms that or not. So here we are going to look at basically a large cap fund and look at its performance against UTI Nifty 50 fund. So this is a model we've developed in-house to evaluate a fund. Now on the large cap fund, let's take SBI large cap fund or the blue chip fund, and then let's take its comparison against the benchmark. Now the period we've taken here is from January 2014 to January 2025, which is around 11 months. Now the key comparison here is going to be on the XIRR, okay, which is one of the best ways to evaluate a mutual fund. And we look at the XIRR for both if we are doing an SIP. Here we've taken an SIP amount of 5,000 monthly, and also point to point comparison, which is from January 2014 to 2025. So here on the XIRR, we'll see that the SBI large cap is performing much better against the benchmark on both SIP and the point to point returns. Also, another thing we try to look at is to see the consistency in which the fund is beating the benchmark. So here what we've done is look at the corpus at the end of each month as to which fund generates the higher corpus. So in 11 years, we'll have total of 132 months. Okay, out of which we see here is that SBI has been ahead in 119 months, or you can say 90% of the time. Another factor is we look at the overall corpus that these funds have generated. And here we can see that SBI has generated around 1.2 lakhs more in corpus than the benchmark. Now this is on an SIP amount of 5,000. So if the SIP amount was say 50,000, the difference in benchmark would have been as good as 12 lakhs. And we look at also historical performance over 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 3 year, and 5 year and 10-year periods. Along with that, we look at the rolling returns. So this actually is SBI. Okay, and here also we look at 5 year and 3 year rolling returns again to look at the consistency of the two funds as to how they've performed. Where here also we see that the SBI fund has performed better than the benchmark. And in terms of the risk, we see the maximum drawdown that these two funds give and see which is more risky for risk averse investors. Now here if we look at the bad periods, which essentially one being the COVID period, here we see essentially the drawdown was quite similar, the maximum drawdown. Similarly in 2022 and even with the recent mini crash of 2025, again it's been similar in terms of the maximum drawdown. So essentially what it means is then you evaluate the funds more on the returns because the maximum drawdown is kind of similar. So now this is for this period that we can say that SBI has performed better. But now again we need to look at different start points and end points. So let's see, we select 2016 instead of 2025. So now again here you see in terms of XIRR still SBI is better, but the margin of difference has changed significantly. And also if we see at the consistency, then here you will see that the benchmark has been ahead in more number of months than actually the SBI large cap fund, right? Now again if we say change the end point, now let's take 2023 Jan. Okay, so now if we take this period, you see that the benchmark has actually outperformed SBI by a 0.3% margin, and also in terms of the corpus, it has been ahead almost 73% of the time compared to SBI blue chip fund. So this is the model we use. Actually, we use different start points and end points, and as you saw, just taking one start point or end point is not going to give you the clear picture, and by changing them, we'll come at different results. So we essentially look at multiple points and then see the consistency is there or not in beating a benchmark. And also we can use this model to compare two different funds as well. So here we can compare two large cap funds also to see which is performing better of the two, right? So this was it guys on this particular video. Thank you.